I would just point out, the previous speaker was talking about peeling back so the public can see what goes on in a committee. I mean, I just came from another committee where we were talking about massive fraud around the country and in particular in Minnesota. And I'm glad that 2 Democrats could find time out of their busy schedule to even attend that hearing. What a shame. What a shame. So when someone says, what is in the files is so bad, I'll ask this question. What is in the files that's so bad that the Democrats for 4 years, for 4 years when they had control of this committee, didn't release a single document, didn't call a single witness, didn't make any motion. In fact, for those 4 years, go back and look. Did they ever say anything about Epstein? No, they didn't. But wanting to make a press, wanting to get it on the press, that's why you're making the issue today. Because let's talk about why we need to talk with, do this contempt. Is because former President Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton basically strung us along as we were bending over backwards trying to accommodate their schedule. They didn't show up after we finally had to get a subpoena for them. And I have right here, this is just interesting to me. This is a little note written by Mr. Clinton, former President Clinton, to Jeffrey Epstein's on Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday. Jeffrey, happy 50th. It's reassuring, isn't it, to have lasted as long across all the years of learning and knowing, adventures and, no illegible word, and also to have your childlike curiosity, the drive to make a difference, and the solace of friends. He rode on that plane many times. He was apparently close friends with him. Jeffrey Epstein claims that, and I don't know if we should believe anything Epstein says for sure, but I mean, Epstein says that he helped set up and fund the Clinton Foundation, and former President Clinton in his note, I mean, this is what he wants. He doesn't want to come in and testify. He wants to do the same thing that he did in previous times. Just, okay, we're going to send a little note, that ought to do it. He says something to the effect that he spent significant time in the Clinton Foundation after he left the presidency. Well, if Jeffrey Epstein set it up, then there's some reason to ask questions of both he and the former Secretary of State. They were given a subpoena. It was a lawfully issued subpoena by a standing committee. By the way, I happened to be at that subcommittee hearing. I was there when every Democrat voice voted that out. Nobody objected and said they didn't want him to be subpoenaed. But he was subpoenaed, and he didn't show up.